Today's lesson is on literal formulas and solving for a variable. If you're unsure what literal formulas are, they're the formulas that allow you to solve real-life applications with math. For example, finding the perimeter of a rectangle, or finding the area of a circle, or finding the volume of a cylinder. So let's get started. If you'd like an essential question, the essential question is how would I be able to solve for a given variable when given a specific formula? So I've got a formula here. It says D equals RT. This formula actually allows you to solve for distance when you're given the rate and time, because distance is equal to how fast you're going, your rate, multiplied by time. So on the left side it says solve D equals RT for R. The reason why you would want to solve for R is if they tell you the distance and they tell you the time and they ask you to figure out what your rate is. So the way you would solve for it is I would notice that R is on the right side of my equal sign and it's being multiplied by time. So I would divide both sides by t and you'd get d over t equals R, which really means your distance divided by how long you're going is equal to the speed that you're traveling. On the example on the right it says d equals RT for t. So they probably tell you your distance and how fast you're going and ask how long is it going to take. So we would divide by R, and you would get d over R equals t. Oftentimes it's easier to manipulate a formula around with letters before you put numbers in. It might become less confusing, or hopefully is less confusing. In the second example here, we have c equals 2 pi r. What this allows you to solve for is the circumference of a circle, and that is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. So on the left example it says solve c equals 2 pi r for r. So I want to find the radius. And they probably tell me what the circumference is. So as I rewrite the formula, I notice that my r is on the right side and it's being multiplied by 2 and pi. So what I want to do is I want to divide both sides by 2 and pi, and the answer would be c over 2 pi is equal to r, because the 2's cancel out and the pi's cancel out. What I want you to do right now is to pause your computer and solve c equals 2 pi r for pi. Okay, now that you're back, let's see if you got it right. We're solving for pi, so we want to divide by 2r. The 2 and the r cancel, and you would get pi is equal to c over 2r. The next one, it says P equals 2W plus 2L. This formula allows you to find the perimeter of a rectangle or a quadrilateral, and it stands for perimeter is equal to 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. On our left example it says solve P equals 2W plus 2L for W. So I'll write the formula out. I notice that I want to solve for W, so I'm going to circle that. I need to get that by itself. So the first thing I want to do is subtract 2L from both sides. And my next line would say P minus 2L equals 2W, as the 2L's would cancel. Then I need to divide by 2. The 2's are going to cancel. And I would be left with P minus 2L over 2 equals W. There is one step further we could go, but I'm not going to do that one right now. Why don't you pause your computer and try and solve that same formula for L. Okay, now that you're back, let's see if you got it right. Here's our formula. We're solving for L, so I'm going to circle that. I know I need to get rid of the 2W, and that would be P minus 2W equals 2L. And then I'm going to divide by 2. The 2's cancel. P minus 2W over 2 equals L. So on the one on the right, if they gave you the width and they gave you the perimeter and they asked you to solve for the length, that's the formula you would use. Here's our last formula. A equals BH over 2. This one allows you to find the area of a triangle. So area is equal to base times height divided by 2. Another way you might have seen this is area equals 1/2 base times height. Both of these different ways are appropriate or correct to write. So it says solve for h. So let's take our formula. And I notice that h is on the right side. I know that it's in the numerator of a fraction. I need to get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply by 2. The 2's are going to cancel. And my next line would say BH is equal to 2A. Again, I'm solving for H, so now I want to divide by B. The B's are going to cancel, and I get H is equal to 2A over B. In this example, they would be asking you to solve for the height when they give you the area and the base. Why don't you pause your computer and then try to solve for B on the last one. Okay, now that we're back, let's go through the steps. We're going to multiply both sides by 2. The 2's are going to cancel. 2A equals BH. Again, we're solving for B, so in this case we're going to divide by H. The H's cancel, and we would get 2A over H equals B. That is your lesson on solving for variables. Come back in the next lesson and I will show you how to apply the applications that we just used with solving these variables. Have a good night. I hope you learned something. If you're struggling a little bit, please watch the video again. It helps to watch it more than one time. I recommend 5 times. Have a good day.